All right, guys. Well, I want to respect our time. I know we only have a half an hour together, so people are still joining, but I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad you're here and appreciate you taking the time to learn more about the Quad Cities Core Collective today. So for today's agenda, I'm going to walk us through the purpose of this initiative, what it looks like in practice, and what participation means for your organization. But before we begin, I want to quickly introduce the Riverbend team on the call here today. Some of them you can see on the screen, some of them you can't. So we've got Nikki Habin, as you know, our partnerships director. Also, you should know by now Rachel Clausen, our data analytics manager, formerly Rachel Gruey, but now it's Rachel Clausen. So congrats again, Rach. We've got Avery Owens here, our development director, Nicole Lauer, our marketing and communications strategist, and joining us just new starting last week is Katie Williams. She is our marketing and communications intern. And then I, of course, am Jenny Colvin. I'm the vice president here at Riverbend. If you'd like, feel free to drop your name and the organization you represent into the chat so we get a sense of who's in the room today. All right, so let's get started. So as many of you know, the hunger relief landscape has changed dramatically in the last few years. We're seeing higher demand, fewer donated truckloads, and higher food costs, and more reliance on purchased food more than ever before. At the same time, many of our partners, many of you who are on this call, have shared that donated product isn't enough to meet your guests' needs. Fundraising is incredibly challenging with limited staff and time, and the need continues to grow faster than resources. At Riverbend, we've had to dramatically increase the amount of food we purchase as well because of these same shifts. Those combined realities told us that we needed a different, more collaborative approach. And that's how the Core Collective was born, to ensure every pantry in the Quad Cities has equitable access to food and to reduce the pressure on partners to fundraise alone. So you're here today because your organization is one of the core hunger relief partners in the Quad Cities. We invited partners who meet a very important threshold. You are open to the public more than 2 hours per month. That tells us that you have consistent community presence, steady guest traffic, and an ongoing need for reliable access to food. So this initiative is designed specifically for organizations like yours. So let's walk through the model of what the Core Collective is. The Core Collective is a collaborative fundraising partnership. Instead of each pantry going to the same funders or competing for the same small pool of dollars, Riverbend fundraises on behalf of all participating partners collectively. So here's the simple version. Donors give to the Core Collective. Those dollars come to Riverbend Food Bank. 100% of those dollars are redistributed as food credits on the accounts of the participating partners, you all. And then the credits are allocated equitably based on each partner's share of total purchased food for the year. So what that means is you get more stability, you spend less time fundraising, and you can focus on feeding people while we do the fundraising heavy lifting. If you choose to participate, here are the expectations for our Core Collective partners. These help ensure transparency, accountability, and equitable distribution of resources. So number one, your monthly statistics must be up to date. This ensures that we understand true demand and purchasing patterns. Two, your Vivory profile is claimed and kept current. If you don't know what Vivory is yet, please connect with Nikki after this call. This is so families searching for food know when you're open, where you're located, and what they can expect. Three, you are or will be signed up with Link to Feed. This is our shared data platform that helps track service, streamline ordering, and support equitable resource distribution. And Jared Connor on the partnerships team is who's heading up all the implementation of Link to Feed. So if you don't know about Link to Feed yet, you will soon. And finally, you agree not to approach local funders for food for your pantry. Instead, Riverbend staff works directly with you to secure funding through the Core Collective so dollars can be raised collaboratively and distributed equitably across all participating partners. Now, there's one caveat here. We work directly with you on any current donors that your organization already has. Our goal is not to take away from your loyal donor base. On the other hand, the benefit for the donor is that the benefit for the donors that we invite to support to the Core Collective know that they won't be receiving multiple requests from not only the food bank, but also the local pantries. This preference has been shared by numerous local funders who have come to us looking for a solution as a way to work more collaboratively. We believe this initiative is a way to meet donors and you, our hunger relief partners, where you all can benefit in a way that's most effective for our community. These criteria ensure that everyone in the Core Collective is aligned, visible to the public, and contributing in a consistent, coordinated hunger relief effort. Again, you were selected because your presence in the community matters. If you choose to join, you're essentially saying, we're part of a unified network, we want to collaborate on shared fundraising, and we want to ensure equitable access to food across the Quad Cities. So what's in it for your organization is really straightforward. It's more consistent access to food credits, less pressure to fundraise alone, and more time to focus on serving guests, which is why you're all doing the hard work that you do every day. And for Riverbend, this model aligns our fundraising with community needs, and it helps us respond more effectively to what we're all facing right now. This model has already been implemented successfully in the communities that our Galesburg and Dubuque branches serve. It started through a collaboration with the Galesburg Community Foundation, and we've seen the impact that comes from being aligned, united, and coordinated in fundraising. We're excited to bring that same collaborative approach to the Quad Cities. So after today, we'll send you a follow-up email that summarizes everything that I just shared very quickly with you. We're asking each organization to let us know whether you'd like to opt in or opt out to this initiative by Friday, February 6th. We're hoping that gives your boards, if you have to take this to a board or to another group, gives you some time to do that. And here's why the date matters. We have already raised $179,000 from local funders who believe in this initiative and that want to support you. These funders include the Regional Development Authority, the Hubbell Waterman Foundation, Bitco, and Smart Toyota. These dollars are earmarked specifically for the Quad Cities Core Collective, and we need to finalize this list before we can start distributing those funds equitably. So that is my spiel. At this point, I want to turn it over all to you. We'd love to hear your questions, reactions, concerns. This is your space to get clarity on anything that will help you make the right decision for your organization. So feel free to pop the question in the chat, and Rachel's going to moderate that for us. Or if you want to come off of mute and ask your question, please feel free to do so. I know I did not cover everything on this call already. I'm sure that maybe you have a hesitation, you have a question, maybe something that you think might be interesting for a board or a group, a decision maker at your organization.
I have a question.
Yes, Karen.
We right now we pick up on our days open, so Thursday and Saturday we pick up from one of the Hy-Vees, sushi and Chinese meals. So am I correct? And we pick up bread on Saturdays. We would not be able to do that anymore?
No, thank you for bringing that up. That does not apply. I'm talking about financial dollars that you or someone on your team would be soliciting from donors. We just ask that we work more in partnership, and it's really so that we know if you have a donor that already contributes to your organization, we're not stepping on that relationship. But on the other hand, if it's, let's say it's a local bank and they give you $1,000 annually, we know with our fundraising resources that they have the capacity to actually give $10,000 annually. We would love the opportunity to reach out to them and fundraise on behalf of all the participating organizations. Okay. So all boats rise. But no, this does not apply to the food donations that you are currently receiving. That's a great question. Thank you. I will also add this is an annual commitment. So every year we will reevaluate the list. We will give you an opt-in again if it's something that your organization thought was great and want to continue with. Awesome. This also opens the door for other organizations that are doing similar great work that we may or may not invite to the Core Collective. Other questions?
So I guess I have a follow-up with that.
Yes.
So I work with Tapestry Farms, and we get a lot of monetary donations, but we do more than just the food bank. So would our donations that we get, because we allocate within our business, still be okay? Or like, how would that work?
Yeah, so great question. So it's not this, just think it's more specifically think from the funder's perspective. This eliminates like multiple requests for food donations that the food bank's already asking and that you might be asking. If it's outside of that, if it's something for any of the other wraparound services that you do, this does not apply to that at all. And really, it's a true collaboration in that we're going to communicate with you on who we, like our prospect list, who we're reaching out to, and we hope that you share that list with us too. Again, not so that we can take your donors, but rather we don't step on your donors and we can work in true partnership. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I apologize for the screaming child.
That's okay.
Looks like we have.
Here, Rach, I can see him, so I can speak, so it doesn't echo. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Amy asks, we already have some funding in place this year. Is this just an ask to not fundraise for food dollars moving forward? That's correct, Amy. Don't change whatever you're already working on, but just giving us some visibility to that will help us know not to step on that process. So great question. Thank you. Emily, can you discuss link to feed requirement? What if we are unable to do so? Nikki or Rachel, do either of you want to speak to that?
I'm just giving it a.
Oh, it's echoing. How about this? How about I say, Emily, the link to feed requirements, Jared is really our point person on that. He would be able to provide a much more detailed answer. If it's okay, we can ask that question to him after this call and follow up in an email to everyone on this call so that you can understand what those requirements are. Nikki, thumbs up if that sounds okay, or if there's anything else you wanted to add.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, no echo.
Sweet. Okay, terrific. Actually, what Jenny just said, Jared is our expert when it comes to link to feed. We have a lot of partners that are already utilizing this software and seem to be having some really good success with it. Jared would walk you through. We provide the software, we provide the tablets. Really, it's just training the people that are doing the intake on how to utilize the system. Emily, is there, and maybe you can put this in the chat, or if this is getting too far into the weeds, we can take it offline, but I'm just curious if you have something that you think would make you unable to use the system. Otherwise, I mean, again, that is probably one of the requirements that will take the most dedication to get you on the system, but it's something that we're working towards. Whether or not you move to Core Collective or not, it's something that we would like all our partners to eventually become utilizing, because it really does help drive our work as a food bank. So this would actually just put you ahead of the game of getting on the system now. Volunteer abilities and desire to do so. Jared is an expert at teaching all levels of tech users on how to utilize the system. Once going through how to utilize the system, we've heard from people that it's really not as taxing as it might seem to be from the start. So I think we can work around all types of volunteer abilities, desire to do so. I think that's a whole other conversation that we would just need to have with you to let you know what the pros are for not only you, but for the food bank as a whole. So that would just be a really good conversation to have. on overcoming any of the barriers of that desire to join. So great question.
And Karen, before you ask your other question, is there anybody on the call that's already a part of Link to Feed that would want to speak to it, pro or con?
I can pop in on this. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm multitasking on doing some right now. So we do it at the YWCA. It is really simple. We have I mean honestly it helps us with our internal intake process and things like that. We make sure we hit all of those points. And I mean we see about 170 visits a week, and between my staff and myself, we probably spend 4 hours total. So super it's I know it's helpful, and it's helpful to us to see where people are visiting outside of our space as well.
Thank you so much, Amy. Yeah, the goal of Link to Feed is that we start receiving data that will drive some decision making with an ultimate goal of how do we shorten the line, right? How do we help people get out of needing food from us? The only way we know how to do that is with data instead of this anecdotal guessing game of it. So that's the purpose for it. And that is, like Nikki said, that is where we are headed as an organization. So this just puts you a little bit ahead of the game. Okay, Karen, thanks for your patience. Go ahead.
Nope, I'm interested in that. Actually, I'm to call Jared as soon as I'm done here. But we have a fundraiser planned. We do 2 a year. Are we still allowed to do those?
Yes, short answer, yes. Again, just having some visibility to what that is so we can stay away from stepping on that for you. We can absolutely work through everything that people have planned, and that we don't want to mess up your relationships, for sure.
Okay. We just do a trivia night and then a bingo night, and we have a few raffle baskets. So it's not like a ton of stuff we get. We have several restaurants that donate our food that we sell, but otherwise, I mean, it's all prepared food. It's not something we typically could take to the.
Yep. Think of this as a way, like I said, a way for all boats to rise, right? This partnership will allow Riverbend to solicit funds, like larger funds on behalf of everyone. So it's not, a lot of your churches, right? You have members that support your pantry. We don't want to mess with that. We want your members to still support you. We're thinking bigger, we're thinking more broadly, and a way for us all, again, all boats to rise. So thank you for asking that clarification, Karen. Okay. Linda asks, what about food rescue and anonymous donations? I hope that has been answered with what I just said. Those are all still great. We just don't want you soliciting funds. We want to take that piece off of your shoulders. We want to acknowledge and help you do what you do best and why you're doing what you're doing. You are do-gooders in the community wanting to feed people. Let us help you do that with our resources. Linda, I hope that answers your question. If not, please chime in again. And anyone else, any questions you may have, please jump in. These are great. From the Riverbend team, any other thoughts or questions you have that might be helpful for the group? Okay, well, we're in good shape for time. I think we'll cut out a little early here. Someone asked if this is being recorded. Yes, we are going to get this recording ready to go on a YouTube link. I plan on sending that follow-up email with all of the resources. I'm sending the deck. I'm sending the YouTube link. I'm sending some other resources that will help aid you in making this decision by the end of the day today. So if you think of any other questions between now and February 6th, please reach out to me, to anyone on the team. We would love to chat with you. Anything you've got, we want to hear it. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time and for your consideration. And we look forward to working with you in this new way. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.